Animate Project 3 Animated Internet Ads. We are on stage 2 working with text. We're going to place some static text that's going to appear kind of in the middle of our animation, and it's going to be static text, which simply means it is placed and manually edited using our text tool. It hasn't anything to do with movement. It's just simply that we are placing it and creating it using the text tool. We're going to begin by adding a new layer to the top of our layer stack and name that layer Text. And we are going to click on frame 37 and we are going to insert a keyframe. We are then going to pick up our text tool, and our properties panel should have brought up our text tool, and select static text from the text type. You have a drop down where you can select dynamic or input, but we want static. And in your character panel, pick a nice bulky heavy typeface. I selected Swiss Heavy. It's chunky. I liked it. And for a size, we're going to start off by putting in 24 points just to get going. And we want the color on this to be white to begin with so we can see it. In the paragraph panel, we're going to select to right align, not justify, but pick right align. Click near the top left corner of the stage someplace, and you're going to drag to draw a rectangle, something approximately the width of the movie, and it's going to come up white. I drew mine up a little high, so it's going to be off the top, but that's okay. We're going to move that in just a second. Now type in Adventure Awaits. Pick up your selection tool, and we are looking for the position and size. We want our X position to be 0. We want our Y position to be 10, and our width to be 280 pixels. That's going to bring that in with a slight indent on our right side, which is fine because we don't want that running off the edge, but that's placing everything nicely. With that text area still selected, try changing the size value to about 40. Attempt that, see what happens with it, see what that makes it on 2 lines, which is really fine. It's what we want. And then you need to change the spacing so that that comes up a little tighter. So highlight your line spacing in your paragraph panel and maybe try scrubbing down or changing that to 1, which will snug that up. If that's not enough and you want to change that to 0.5, try that. You can put in decimals, or you may want to scrub that down to a minus something. I found out for mine minus 11 worked really good, but that's different methods that you can use to adjust. It's pretty similar to working with Illustrator or Photoshop. Select your text tool and put an insertion point back into the text we just put up there. This is going to bring back our character panel, and I want you to select Embed. What the embedding is going to do is make sure that the type is included in the file. We're going to change the name of their options from Font 1 to Heading Font. And we're going to select the uppercase, lowercase, and punctuation character ranges to be included. Then you can close the dialog box. If you take a look at your library panel, you'll now find that there is an embedded font that is included. Let's go ahead and Control Enter to play our movie. And You might notice at the end that there's a bit of a problem trying to read the white text. It's a little bit difficult when everything is showing. It kind of weights kind of blends into the background, so we're going to add something in the background to help that show up a little better. We're going to again select frame 37 in the text layer and click with your selection tool in an empty area around the stage to deselect. And by the way, go ahead and close your movie if you haven't. And with the rectangle tool, make sure you are in object drawing mode. In the color panel, make sure our stroke is none, and we're going to change our fill to a linear gradient, and we want the black to white gradient, which is this one. Click the left gradient stop to select it and change the alpha value to 0, which is going to give you a transparent to solid black. Click the right gradient stop to select it, drag it to approximately 50%, so about halfway. Change the stop color. We want to make this the dark blue, so it's going to be the pound or hashtag 000033, and we want to change the alpha value. Let me change that alpha to 50%. Back in frame 37 again, click and drag to create a rectangle that fills the top half of the stage. So from up here, we're just going to click and drag and fill about halfway down. Pick up the gradient transform tool, which is underneath the free transform. Click on that block we just created so that we can see the gradient editing handles, and rotate that gradient counterclockwise. And you may need to zoom out so you can see your handles. And we're going to grab those handles and pull and make that the height of the rectangle. Pick up your selection tool. You should still have that selected, but now go to Modify, Arrange, and Send to Back. That's going to put that rectangle right behind the text that we drew, and that's going to make Adventure Awaits much easier for us to read. Go ahead and save your project, and you can play your movie to test it.